Hi, welcome to Rameshsoft video tutorials. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about WebDriver interface methods and their usage of WebDriver interface methods. One by one, we'll see how to use these methods. So as we know that in the earlier videos I discussed about WebDriver interface. So WebDriver is an interface. So it is the main interface to use for testing, that is which represents an idealized web browser. This interface contains to control of the browser itself as well as, and even by using this interface we can perform selection of web elements as well, right? So see here the pseudocode of this WebDriver interface. So this WebDriver interface is the child interface of search context interface. So our Selenium process is going to begin with a search context interface. This search context interface is having two methods. One is find element method, one more is find elements method. Now, so these are the following total 14 methods which is having WebDriver interface. Let's see one by one we'll talk. So and then we'll see how to implement those things, right? Now, so what is a get method? So whenever we call a get method, it loads a new web page in the current browser window. That is, internally this is done using HTTP get operation, and this method will wait until the page load is complete. That means this method, whenever we are calling get method, and it will wait till the page is loaded. Next one, this get method will take parameter to load the URL, and it should be fully qualified URL. In simple, by using get method we can enter URL to the browser, that to current window. This method makes wait, that is, this method will wait till the page is loaded, right? Now, so get title is a method. Whenever we call get title method, we are going to get the title of the page in the form of string. Now let's see here this, let's implement these two things. Let's see here how we can use these things. So as we know that to work with locally, yes, we have a drivers called Chrome driver, Firefox and IE drivers and etc. Yes, just watch my previous videos, you'll get it. So I'm writing WebDriver test. Now let me do it here. Let me write the main method. Now launch the browser. So as we know that in the earlier, people who don't know how to initialize the browser, just watch my previous videos so that you will get it. Yes. Now, so and then now see here I want to enter URL to the Chrome browser, right? Now see here what I'm doing. WebDriver dot, we are having one method called, what is that method? Get method. So it's always ask you the URL in the form of string. That too we need to pass fully qualified URL, that is https://www.gmail.com, right? Now see here. So and second method we are talking about title. If you want to get the title of the page, we are having a method called get title method. So whenever we call get title method on WebDriver, it will return title of the current page in the form of string. Now it's going to return the title in the form of string. So I'm writing here title. Just let me print on the console SYSO of title of the page is. Title of the page is, now what's the title of the page plus title. Now just observe here, let me run this program, run as Java application. Now see here, browser is launched and then it's going to enter, yes, URL. Now see here, so the title of the page is what? Gmail. I said right, every Chrome driver is going to run on top of a port number, right? Yes. Now title is done. Now see here, now I want current URL of this one. Now see here, so this is called what? Current URL of this page. I want this URL. So for that we are having one method called get current URL method. So whenever we call get current URL, it returns URL of the current loaded page in the browser in the form of string. Now see here what I'm doing. Now WebDriver dot get current URL. Now it's going to return that current URL of the current page in the form of string. Let me print on the console SYSO of current URL of the browser is now I'm writing plus URL. Now see here, let me run this program. Right click, run as Java application. Just observe the screen, what's going to happen. Now see here, so it's going to be entered URL, and then let's see here what happens. So this method get method will wait till the page is loaded, right? Now see here, what is the current URL of the browser? https://accounts.com/sign etc. or not? Yes. Now and this WebDriver interface is having one more method called get page source. So get page source. So whenever we call get page source method, it returns source page, source code of the page in the form of string. Just observe here, let me run this program. Now see here what I'm doing. So I'm calling WebDriver dot get page source. Now it's going to return that page source in the form of string. Now see here, page source. Now let me print on the console. Just observe here, SYSO of page. Just observe here, page source is plus page source. Now let me run this program. What happens? See here, if I run this, right click, run as Java application. Now see here, so it's going to return source page, source code of that page. Just observe here in the form of HTML and JavaScript. Now see here, so I'm getting all this source code or not? See here, I'm getting the source code or not? Yes. So this is a use of get page source method. And now one more method is there. What is that method? Get attribute, right? So before going to this get attribute, let's see about find element and find elements method. So find element is a method. Whenever we call find element method, it's going to identify a element based on some locator mechanism by using by class. So find element method, it identifies all the element, but it returns a first matching element in the DOM or node. Now whenever we call find elements method, it identifies all the elements and it returns all the elements as a part of list. Now see here, let me write the first one. So just watch my previous videos, I explained that in detail, right? Now WebDriver dot find element. How you want to find the element? I want to find the element by dot id. So in Gmail, what is the username is having, what is the id? Just observe here. Let me click on gmail.com. Now see here what happens. Now I'm entering gmail.com and I'm entering gmail.com. Just observe here. Things seems like net is slow. Now click on sign in. Now see here. So select it, right click, click on inspect element. Now see here. So what is the ID it is having? See here, identifier ID, right? Now see here what I'm doing. So I want to find the element by using their ID. Now what happens when I execute this program means my WebDriver engine is going to find the element by ID. It means is there any element which is having ID is equal to identifier ID? Let's feel that 4 elements are there. So my find element method is identifies 4 elements and it returns first matching element in the node, first element in the form of web element, and as well as our web element is going to return our find element method is going to return web element object. Now it is username, right? Now on this username I want to do it like first I want to clear it, username dot clear, and I want to do it username dot send keys. Now see here what I'm doing. So I'm entering Rameshsoft dot Selenium at gmail.com. Now see here, let me run this program. Just observe here what happens. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, yes or no? Yes, this is the use of find element method. Now, so whenever we are using find element method, if the corresponding element is not there, then we will get what? No such element exception. Now see here. So if the corresponding attribute is not there, I mean if the corresponding web element is not there, then find element method is always returns no such element exception. Let me click on Java application. Now see here. Now observe the output, see here what it is returning. So it is returning what? No such element exception, right? Now see here, let me go with find elements method. So find element is a method. By using find element method, we can identify the elements based on some locator mechanisms. To work with the locator mechanism, Selenium people they designed a predefined class called by class, which is an abstract class, and this by class is having 8 static methods, and this by class is having 8 static inner classes. Now find element method, it identifies all the elements and it returns first matching element and the form of web element. So if the corresponding element is not there, then we will get a no such element exception by using find element method. And fourth one, whenever we call find element method, it returns some web element object. It doesn't mean web element is an interface. It doesn't mean find element method is not creating and returning object for web element interface. It is creating and returning object for web element interface implementation class object. In the coming sessions, we'll talk more elaborately the implementations of all these methods and how to use all these methods, right? Yes. Now see here the same thing. Let me do it with find elements method. So whenever we are working with find elements method, it identifies all the elements based on some locator mechanism, and it returns all the identified elements in the form of list. But whereas find element method, it identifies all the elements, but it returns only first matching element. Now when it comes to find elements method, if the element is not there, then we won't get any no such element exception. Simply this method returns empty list. Now see here, WebDriver dot find elements by dot id. Now see here, it going to check, my find elements method is going to check how many elements are there in the Gmail page. It is going to check in the DOM how many elements are there with id is equal to identifier id. It identifies all the elements, it returns all the elements in the form of list, which is from java.util. We'll talk elaborately in collection framework and generics what is the use of this syntaxes, what is list and what is generic version of list. All those things we will talk. List, set, map, queues and customized sorting order, natural sorting orders, comparable, comparator interface, hash table, everything we'll talk, including 1.8 and 1.9 features. Now so let me print SYSO of number of elements are, now what I'm doing just over here, plus elements dot size. Now see here, so let me run it. Right click, run as Java application. Now see here what happens. It's going to identify all the elements with id and it returns all the elements in the form of list. Okay, so why it returns all the elements in list only? Why can't it in set, map, hash table, right? We'll talk more elaborately in the coming videos, boss. In the collection framework, once I've done the collection framework, I'll link up all those concepts into Selenium, how we can use it. Now see here, how many elements are there? 1. Now I am giving Wrong one. Now see here, if I did the same thing with find element, we got exception, right? Now with find elements, we won't get any exception. Simple, this method returns what? Empty list. Now see here, now this method we won't get any exception. Simply this method returns empty list. Now see here, so number of elements should be what now? 0, right? Now, as well as find elements and find element method is there in web element interface as well. Whenever we are calling find elements and find element on the WebDriver, it is going to check in the total DOM. Whenever we are calling find elements and find element method on a web element, it is going to check the elements only in that particular web element, right? So just watch my previous videos, I explained in detail. Now, next one. So one more method is there after this. Close and quit, right? So let's see here, get attribute. Now see here, what is the use of get attribute? Now see here input is what? Tag name. Here type is about attribute name. Here email is about attribute value. Class is about attribute name. Here this one is about attribute value. JS name is a attribute name. This attribute value. Name is about attribute name and attribute value. ID is a attribute name. And this is what? Attribute value, right? Now see here, I want attributes of this element, this web element. Now see here, to get attributes of a web element, we are having one method called, what is that method? Get attribute method. So basically, this method is not there as a part of what? WebDriver interface. This method is there as a part of what? Web element interface, right? Now close and quit method. So WebDriver interface is also having close and quit method. So whenever we call driver dot close, it is going to close the current window. That is to quit the current window and quitting the browser if it is the last window. That is whenever we call close method, it's always going to close the current window. Whenever we call quit method, quits the driver closing every associated window. That is whenever we call quit method, all the windows are going to be closed which are associated with our driver, right? Now see here, simple, just to call, what is that method? WebDriver dot close. If you close, only the current Selenium focused window is going to be closed. If you write WebDriver dot quit, so all windows are going to be closed which are associating with the driver, right? Now just observe here. Now, so one more other methods is there, get window handle and get window handles. Just observe here. So get window handle is a method. Whenever we call a get window handle, it returns the current window name in the form of string. That is every window contains some name, like this is one window, this is one, this is one, this is one, right? So every window it contains what? Some name. I want these names, I want to work out with these names, right? So if you want to get the current window name in WebDriver, we are having a method called get window handle. Whenever we call get window handle method, it returns the current window name in the form of string. Suppose I want all the windows 1, 2, 3, 4. I want all the windows. If you want to get all the windows in WebDriver interface, we are having a method called get window handles method. Whenever we call get window handles method, it returns all the windows in the form of set, right? So find elements is always talking about what? List, because there may be a chance of existing duplicate elements. I want to maintain duplicate elements, so they are storing in list. Get window handles method, I don't want to maintain any duplicate windows, that's why they are running what? Set. So more detail I explained in module 2. So why this find elements method returns list and list of web elements, why get window handles method returns set, what are the implementations internally, how we can use effectively in our Selenium, all those I discussed in module 2. Just watch my module 2 videos, you will get more clarity, right? Now see here, let me implement these two things. So let me remove all those things. Now see here what I'm doing. Now whenever we call WebDriver dot get window handle, whenever we call get window handle method on the driver, it is going to return the current window name in the form of string. Now see here, current window. Let's observe here. Let me print this on the console. Let me print this window name on the console. SYSO of current window name is plus what is that, current window. Just observe here. Let me run this program. So each window contains what, some name. So I'm going to get the what, that window name. So whenever we have opened multiple windows, our Selenium by default focus first window. If you want to switch to second window, other windows, if you want to work with other windows, if you want to work with the frames, if you want to work with alerts, so Selenium has a predefined interface called what is that, target locator interface. By using target locator interface, we can work with what, multiple frames and multiple windows, etc. Right? So we'll see in detail elaborately what the use of these frames and all those things. Right? Now see here, let me run this program. Right click, run as Java application. Now see here, now I'm going to get the current window name in the form of string. So in the previous videos, I explained in detail what is target locator interface, what is options interface, what is navigation interface, and all those things I explained. Just after it. Now see here, what is the current window name? Something CD window, something I'm getting or not? Yes. So this is the current window. Suppose I want all the windows. How many are open here? I want all the windows. If you want to get all the windows, our WebDriver is having one method called, what is that method? WebDriver dot get window handles. So in the interview, the very common question, I have 100 windows. Can we switch to 99th window? Can we switch to 92nd window, 92nd window? Can we switch to 89th? Yes, very comfortable. We can switch to what? Even though we have 1000 windows, we can handle that windows. No problem at all. Yes, in the coming videos we'll talk. So how to implement all those things? How can we implement all those things with a collection framework? Remember, collection framework and generics, regular expressions, and 1.8 features and java.lang package. Oops, these are very common things that we are going to use it now, right? Inner class and in interfaces, everything, right? Yes. So just watch my previous videos how I connected all those things in my Selenium. So every Java concept I linked up in Selenium, right? Yes. Now whenever I call get window handles method, it returns all the elements in the form of string, in the form of set of string. Now see here, let me print SYSO of number of windows. So here I'm having only one, right? That's why I'm going to get only one, windows dot size. Now if you want to get one by one window name, right? So write for each loop and then what? Iterate it. Now see here what I'm doing, write the for each loop to iterate one by one value. Now I'm writing for string something, string window colon. So just watch my previous videos if you don't know about this for each loops and cursors, iterators, and all those things. Very, very important. Even 1.8 version features is very important. Now this time printing SYSO of what is that? Window. Now see here. So now right click, run as Java application. Now see here what happens. Just observe the output. Now see here. So every browser is going to be Chrome driver is going to be Chrome browser is going to run on top of some port number. So 44366. Now see here, current window name is this the one, and the total how many windows are there? One. That window current window, that window name is what? This is the window name, right? So we'll talk more elaborately about and the very common question is what is the difference between find elements and get window handles, right? So find elements is a method which is present in web element interface as well as WebDriver interface. Whenever we call find the elements method, based on some locator mechanism, it identifies all the elements and it returns all the elements in the form of list. So list is what? Interface. It doesn't mean find the elements method won't return list object. It returns internal implementation class of list. The same way, get window handles. Get window handles is a method which is present in WebDriver interface. Whenever we call get window handles method, it returns all the windows in the form of a set. So set is an interface. It doesn't mean get window handles method is not creating object for set interface. It is creating object for internal implementation class of set. So in detail technically we'll talk in coming videos, right? Yes. Now this is about get window handle and get window handles. Now, so in WebDriver we are having three important methods. One is switch to method, one more is navigate method, and one more is manage method. So by using switch to method, we can work with we can switch to the windows, we can switch to the frames, we can switch to the default windows, we can switch to the alerts and etc. Right? So see here. So see here, just observe here. So whenever we call switch to method, we can get what object? Target locator. Target locator is a what? Interface. So target locator is an interface. It means switch to method is not returning target locator interface object. This method is returning target locator interface implementation class object. Now, what is target locator interface? Target locator is a specially designed interface to work with frames and windows. So we have a special interface called what is this? Target locator. It is the inner interface. It is an interface to work out with what? Frames and windows, right? Now, this interface is used to locate a given frame or window. So this interface is having a lot of methods, boss. Like if you want to switch to the frame, we have a overloaded methods of frame, and if you want to switch to the parent frame, we have a method called parent frame. If you want to switch to the window, we have a method called window. If you want to switch to the frame from default window, we have a default content. If you want to switch to the active element, we have a method called active element. If you want to switch to the alert, we have a method called alert. So if you don't know about target locator interface, just watch my previous videos. There I explain in detail, right? Yes. So how this switch to method is implemented internally means the implementation class of WebDriver interface is what? Remote WebDriver. The implementation class of web element interface is what? Remote web element. In the same way, the implementation class of target locator interface is remote target locator. So how internally this switch to method is implemented means just see here, public target locator. Now call what is that method? Switch to method. Now see here how it is returning target locator some target is equal to new. What is the implementation class of this target locator? Remote target locator. Remote target locator. Remote target locator. Remote target locator. So that's why whenever we call switch to method, we will get what object? Target locator object. It doesn't mean target locator is a what? Interface. It doesn't mean switch to method is not returning target locator interface object. My switch to method is returning target locator interface implementation class object. So what is the target locator interface implementation class object? Class remote target locator. Return target. So this is the internally this is the way switch to method is implemented. In the same way, I want to perform navigation operations like forwarding and refreshing the page and etc. Right? So whenever we call navigate method, so navigate is a method. By using navigate method, we can perform navigation operations. That is how we can perform means in order to perform navigation operations, Selenium has provided a predefined interface called navigation interface. This navigation interface, that is, this navigation interface allows the driver to access the browser history and to navigate to a what? Given URL, like to method with URL and the forward method, back method and a refresh method. Just watch my previous videos, there you can get very clearly, right? So whenever we call navigate method, we are going to get navigation object. It doesn't mean It is not creating navigation interface object. It is creating navigation interface implementation class object. Now see here. So what is the implementation class of this navigation interface? Remote navigation is the implementation class for this. Now see here, public. Now I'm writing navigation. It is the interface. Now what is the method? Navigate method. Now see here internally how it is implemented means navigation something navigate is equal to new remote navigation. Now return what? Navigate. So can you people tell me my navigate method is returning a navigation interface object, or my navigate method is returning navigation interface implementation class object? My navigate method is returning what? Navigation interface implementation class object. In the same way, my switch to method is returning target locator interface object or target locator interface implementation class object. Target locator implementation class objects. Very important in the interview. So sure they'll ask you. Now, so if you want to perform management operations, something like I want to perform operations like browser menu, like deleting cookies, adding cookies. I want to get all the cookies like. So if you want to implement cookies management in Selenium, we have a predefined interface called, what is that interface? Options interface. So if you want to get options interface object, we have a method in WebDriver called, what is that method? Manage method. So whenever we call manage method, it is going to return a options object. It doesn't mean manage method is not creating object for what? Options interface. It is creating and returning object for options implementation class object. Now see here what happens. Just observe here. Now let me write the code. So how it is implemented internally. So public options, what is that method? Manage method. Now options is equal to new remote WebDriver options, right? Now see here, so my manage method is running options interface object, or my manage method is running options interface implementation class object. So my manage method is running what? Options interface object. That's why what we are doing in Selenium, driver dot switch to. Whenever we call switch to, we are getting what? This object. On that object we are calling what? Window or etc. Right? So target locator is an interface which is having the methods like what? To perform switching between the windows and frames, etc. Alerts. Right? So navigate is a method which always going to return what? Navigation object to perform navigation operations like refreshing the browser, forwarding and backwarding operations, and etc. So manage method, whenever we call manage method, we are going to get options object. Means whenever you want to perform, whenever you want to implement, whenever you want to work with cookies management, right? So then go with what? Manage method. Okay. So if you want to know the methods present in target locator, if you want to know the method present in navigation, if you want to know the methods present in options interface, just watch my previous videos. I explained in detail. Okay. Let me implement these things into Eclipse. Let me implement it. Now I want to delete the cookies. So in WebDriver, I am having a method called manage method. Whenever I call a manage method, I am going to get what object? Options object. It means that is not options interface object. It is what? Options interface implementation class object. On that I want to delete what? All cookies. Right? So this is one way. So cookies management is a separate session. In the coming videos I will explain. Right? Next one. So I want to switch to the window. Now see here, WebDriver dot switch to where you want to switch to? I want to switch to what? Window. No, I want to switch to what? Frame. No, I want to switch to what? Alert. Right? So what are switching commands? Right? So what are switching commands? Window, driver dot switch to dot window, driver dot switch to dot alert, driver dot switch to dot parent frame, driver dot switch to dot active element. In the coming videos, we will talk in detail. Okay, just here I am giving the introduction about these things, right? Next one, WebDriver dot. Now I want to perform like a navigation operation. Now see here, I want to refresh it. Yes, I want to perform backward operation, something, etc. For that we are having what? Navigation interface, right? So these are the methods and implementations of what? WebDriver interface. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Thank you.